Now we have a discretion on the language here. All that swearing in that song.
Who can't swear? Who's not allowed to swear?
Just joking. The music, the change. There was no swearing in the first one because there was no singing in the first one. Okay, we live? We good? Yay! I was supposed to save that for a guest. Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the thing that we do.
The thing.
It's the stuff.
This is the thing.
Tuesday stuff deal.
Yeah. How's everybody doing over there? Mike, Mike, how's the nursing home, bud? How are you doing over there?
You feeling your age over there, buddy? What's going on?
Well, I guess. You know what? It's one of those weeks where, yeah, it's an age thing. So I don't know if anybody here has everybody got their first shot anyway.
No, I have not got mine yet. I'm not allowed.
Really?
My wife's about to get hers. My parents have gotten theirs, but nope.
Oh, okay. So I got my shot, which was, I stepped up and figured let's get her over with. And everything was fine. I was, I'd heard, not horror stories, but I heard people complaining, it's the next day, it's kind of rough. And so I said, nothing for me, because I've been dealing with something a little more discomforting. Things called gallstones, bro.
Hey.
Yeah. Old man river here. So
Are you gonna have to you have to pee it out through the thing, like the
No.
treatment?
No. Gallstones, you don't pee out.
They go in
from
and
what I
get 'em?
understand. Yeah, and this is kind of the frustrating thing is it's right now it's just sort of like managing it because, the medical system right now is overloaded with, things that in many cases more important, and shouts to all the to the frontliners and all the nurses and the doctors. My God, I sit and, complain about it, but, drop in the bucket. My issue is kind of back burner right now because things are so backed up. So literally, so I'm basically just riding it out until I can get an appointment with the old specialist. And even then, unless I'm like really dying bad sick, there's no, it's not considered an emergency surgery. And that's assuming I'm going to get my gallbladder out, which I'm hearing from many people is probably what's going to happen. So, so anyway, yeah, a lot of Tylenol, and I've been eating like the blandest of bland diets, which is just sucking the COVID life out of me right now.
Don't you wish it was a wrestling injury?
Well, then I would know that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and all that. Right now, like I'm living off of, just plain like bananas and rice and broiled chicken and turkey. And I'm looking at, my daughter is baking amazing coffee cake and sweets. And I'm like,
So coming into this episode, Mike, we had plans to talk about the Winter Soldier review, and then we have Justin Wong from the Mighty Ducks coming on.
Kenny Wu!
But we've changed all that now, given your new circumstances stuff. I pre-sent some stuff to Chris. It's Golden Girls and Matlock review.
Okay.
So just perfect for the nursing home.
In my day, no, but
There was some dates
again,
and figs
all
for
things. All things considered, yeah, man, I'm good. It's just it's funny how I turned 48 last week and
old, holy.
And it's almost like when you buy a car and you've got a limited warranty, and everything's great up until the 1 kilometer after you go over that warranty, and then everything starts to fall apart. I'm starting to think that's what it is. That I've reached my warranty, and now everything's slowly starting to fall apart, but still got my hair color.
There you go.
Stick to that.
Yeah, mine's going away.
Stick
JJ,
to that.
I got a lot of
welcome, buddy.
Yeah,
How
JJ
you been?
beat
What's
that,
going
buddy.
on, man?
I don't think I can beat that. I'm out. Tapping out on that one. Hey, how do I avoid that?
Yeah.
You know what, Jay? I'm pretty sure you don't need to worry about it because from what I remember, you eat pretty healthy and you eat,
Oh, is this from not eating healthy?
Well, it's not necessarily eating it, but I think that ultimately contributes to it.
Okay.
And it's not that I eat like crap. Like I've eaten a lot better.
Come on, Mike.
But but I'm sure there are things, green leafy things that I probably should have been eating more of.
Okay, I eat plenty of that, but I am getting up there in age. You said 48. Is that when the warranty's up? Is that when the rust starts to show?
I guess
I think
so.
it's 45
I
where
think
it
I'm
really
the
starts
benchmark
to-
at this point.
Chris
so, yeah.
Chris had a thing for Chris was like and for a while and then he went and got it
a
fixed.
few issues.
Then he
with it.
started growing his own weed, and next thing you know, he's
Oh,
going the
wow.
other. He's,
I'm
he's
okay now.
Benjamin Button. He's Benjamin
I
Button.
think I need to. I think I need to go
Reversed.
that way.
Reverse
Oh,
aging,
is
yeah. Well,
reverse age.
The CBT stuff is really healthy. Really.
Gentlemen,
Some of it I just put you to sleep that I have. But
so much to cover today.
Yeah.
We got lots to go. We got oh man, Chris has got some news. We've got some Falcon and Winter Soldier series finale review stuff to get to. We kind of we skipped through it a little bit and all the rest of it.
It's kind of one of those series though, Brent. I think where you can just kind of come in on the end of it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like WandaVision where it was like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? What's happening here? We wanted to know a few things. We found them out. You know what I mean? Like,
bit of a placeholder.
Well, the story, the bottom line was the story of Captain America.
Let's start with JJ. JJ was sending
on everything.
JJ was sending tweets out about how much he hated it. So what do you got, buddy?
Well, it wasn't not even tweet worthy as far as
to me. Actually, you were just sending them to me.
Yeah, we chatted back and forth. I just feel like there were so many missed opportunities with this. There's so many loose ends. There's such great potential in some of the characters. Captain America, Wyatt Russell, John Walker.
Yeah,
that's
U.S. agent.
Such a great character study there, and it just like he murdered somebody. Now it's just all good at the end.
I know.
What happened?
I agree with you, buddy. Yeah, there were so many things that were just like, and the power brokers, Sharon
the power.
Carter.
Yeah, I heard you going up before we went live. You were going on about the power broker.
She goes from just spying on Captain America to running the crime syndicate in Europe or wherever they are. Right? It's just like
JJ, where were you? You were slow to. We kind of talked, Mike, and Chris. Chris, you had said something out about Wyatt Russell and Captain America. You're like, hey, pay attention. Something's coming down on him.
Yeah.
And I want to add to that for 1 second, just saying I was very disappointed about where that ended up, because I was like, I thought for sure it was trending towards him being taken out. And Chris, you can comment about where that ends in the thing. But Mike, what did you think of that? Like, where was that kind of for you? I was like,
I'm gonna kind of dance a little bit. I agree. I think there were some really big missed opportunities, but I took it at a different angle. I came at this probably not as well versed in the Captain America lore. Like I knew, the stuff that, Chris, you talked about, telling sort of the backstory of Isaiah Bradley and sort of where U.S. Agent kind of comes and goes in the comics. So I got a bit of it, but I wasn't as sort of like hard, comic sold to this. So I went in with a pretty open mind. First off, Anthony Mackie, holy crap, dude killed it this season. I think he stepped out of that whole, in the Marvel universe, like in the movies, you had your main guys, and then you had, the Hawkeyes and sort of the extra characters that, you knew were great, that had potential, but they never really got a chance to sort of really show what they could do. Anthony Mackie, I mean, that final sort of speech transformation into Captain America was dynamite. And I mean, he sold it, like he sold this whole series, like across the board. I thought he was just great. Sebastian Stan, same, maybe a notch down. Here's where I'm gonna go a little off on the rails here. I actually like where they went with Sharon Carter and the Power Broker. Really? And I thought she did an excellent job in where I think she's going with this.
Okay. My question is, so how do you back up her?
Okay.
Like, how do you back that up? Like, as I mentioned, no, I'm just
Mike,
saying.
What's your gallbladder? Mike,
I'm just saying, like, how do you back that up from her just all of a sudden being like?
Hear me out. Okay. And this is call this like crazy, whacked out theory, because
if you say Mephisto,
No.
I'm out.
With WandaVision, we all, we had our thoughts of, okay, where's this going? A lot of the red herrings, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it always seemed like, the Marvel producers and the showrunners were always kind of in the corner laughing, going, hey, you're not even close. What say you as the possibility, because we see in that end credits, the post credits, where she sheds the tear in the hearing, she gets the pardon, she becomes, the head of the CIA, yada, 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 and she makes the phone call. Now, earlier in the season, she referred to the power broker as he, or she referred to somebody as he or him. Right. I don't necessarily think it was Batrock.
Well, no, she had that mask on that made her look like a guy too, right? Remember?
Mm-hmm. But still, I'm almost wondering if this somehow down the line does not turn into a Skrull issue, similar to what we had in Captain Marvel, where that maybe she's not Sharon Carter, or craziness, maybe she is playing double agent and working with Nick Fury, who's off with the Skrulls, blah, blah, blah. And he's the guy she's talking about, getting the secrets, that perhaps the CIA is infiltrated already with possibly Madam Hydra, and that she's actually working on the inside. I still don't see Sharon Carter as the baddie, as the villain. I think there's a double turn coming, that they're setting it up. They could go either way. I think that's where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, you never know.
Because you've got Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Well, her character. Well, here's what I was going to say: is that her new character and Sharon Carter were actually in a group together back in the '60s, right? Like that's. I got a little more
like a band.
Yeah, they were in a band. They used to go, but instead of playing music, they would go out and kill people. So,
but I don't necessarily think. I think they're sticking to sort of rough comic, lore. But I think this series really kind of shows that they're going to get away from, the tried and true, hard backstories that we had in the comics. I think they're going to adjust and massage. I think that's why you see, Wyatt Russell's U.S. agent. I got the sense that he's more aloof than an actual,
well, he's about to get put in a group, right? Like he's about to get put in leading of a group. So it's either going to be probably Force Works or and I'm blanking on the Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
So I can't see him getting his own movie.
Is it possible that Sharon Carter is in cahoots with Thunderbolt Ross?
Oh, she could be. I don't know. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so disillusioned with the way that ended. I was just kind of like, oh, you kidding me? Really? Sharon Carter?
I agree, though. There were a lot of opportunities, a lot of loose ends. I get it. I thought overall.
Plus, Mike, I thought her acting sucked. I'm sorry, Emily, but I thought her acting was. I thought it sucked, especially after seeing the WandaVision, though, dude. Put her in comparison with anybody in WandaVision. Even Kat Dennings, I thought, did her Kat Dennings thing, and I like listening to her. Emily's talking and doing her lines, and I'm just like,
I want to say comedy versus drama. I just think
I
think the acting overall was pretty unbalanced. He had some really great performances from Daniel Bruhl. He was great as
he saved that character, man. Yep.
Sebastian Stan I thought was really great. Mike, I got to disagree with you. I don't think Anthony Mackie was fantastic. I thought he was a bit of a wet fish throughout the whole thing. I feel like it was building, but I was more taken with the Sebastian Stan story than I was with the Sam Wilson story. They put so much out there, the whole, his parents' legacy with the boat, and I get that sort of the metaphor there. But too many loose ends. Like it seemed like they had a great expansive idea, and whether in the follow-up, which will be Captain America and the Winter Soldier, they start to tie up some of those loose ends. To me, it left me feeling really flat. The big speech at the end, because the character to me was kind of just like throughout the whole thing, didn't hit as hard as I know they probably wanted it to. But what I did find good about it is that it reminded me of Marvel comic books, as opposed to the Marvel movie universe. Because coming off it, I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, it's Disney. This is coming from Disney, a huge corporation, and this is the message. Like, it's like Disney's the wrong company to be offering this
Oh,
message.
okay.
But in my heart, I was like, oh, but this is Marvel. This is Marvel's message.
Yeah,
And
see,
really,
I always think of it
true
this
to
way:
the
is
old school.
Disney's backing up Marvel. That's how I try and look at it too. Is like Disney's throwing the money in, but we still got our Marvel stories from the 70s and 60s, and the guys. Yeah. But I hear you on that, 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say, so the whole thing kind of played out like a bit of like an actual comic strip, like an actual comic book to me, you know, and it didn't have that huge sort of cinematic feel to it at all. There were no really other than the opening scene.
The first episode did. The first episode.
That was fantastic. With I was going to say with Batroc and the, you know, jumping from plane to plane or helicopter to plane to plane, whatever it was, flying vehicle to flying vehicle. That was fantastic. And to me, that was like, oh, in terms of the action, that was like the highlight out of the first out of the box, and everything else kind of fell flat for me. But it felt more like a comic strip.
One thing that for me as the casual, because I'm with Mike, you know, again, you guys know where I am. I'm a DC guy, but I wasn't all the way in on Captain America. But I liked, like, I was like, okay, they're telling a story. But then it was kind of like that last episode, they had to jam everything in. And I did not like the way it was directed and moved. And I really feel like they had a missed opportunity. I think we keep talking about missed opportunities here to tidy up those stories, but it felt like an A-Team episode at the end of it. It was like we're wrapping this up right, like, and then tune in next Tuesday and.
But
see
what about? No, never mind. What about
Fast and the Furious? There were some Fast and Furious.
That's what it felt
sure,
like. It felt like to me, and I was like, you know what? It actually flowed pretty good up until the final episode, and for me, the final episode seemed rushed, I guess. They had to edit it up.
What Sam Wilson said to the government guys was exactly what I would have loved. Like, I've been poor like before, and I didn't get any help at all when I was poor. But now that I own a house that I have behind me that's worth a lot of money, they help, and I'm thankful that they helped me out. Don't get me wrong, but I have been in the situation where I've had to scrape money together to get soup for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in that spot, and that sucks. And then if you were to try to explain that to one of the people in the government, they'd be looking like, oh, and pat you on the head. But they don't get it because they've been rich all their lives. Yeah. Which is part of the problem I had with some of the places that I've lived in life, is that I'm talking to these people about music and arts and stuff, and they don't get it because they've never had to ever struggle. And that's just a part of me that I thought when Sam said that, I was kind of like, boom. I actually, when he said that, is, you know, putting the Disney thing aside, because it's funny because other companies should be saying what Sam said to Disney because they're crushing everybody else. But what he said to the government is what I would have like that he kind of put into words for me. It's like, you guys are making decisions for people that you have no idea what are going through. You have you've never been a minority. You've never been poor. You've never been picked on. You are pampered people. You're making decisions for people who are being stepped on, who are being abused, who have a rough card in life, not their fault. And wow, that to me, I got a little spot in my stomach. I don't know if it was what I was smoking that morning, but man, I felt like in my tummy, I was like, thank you. I thought that was great.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with the message, and I don't have a problem with the message and what was said. It just in the context of the whole series, it was, I don't know. It was like
weird though, wasn't it?
Too little, too late.
Guys, listen, we've been spoiled. We had the Mandalorian into Wanda, and to come out of those two things, like as far as like super Star Wars side and everyone getting an opportunity to rewrite the Star Wars, like those guys getting a chance to rewrite the Star Wars kind of lore a little bit and run with it. And Wanda as like this is what we're doing. We were just inundated with all this new information. This to me seemed like, JJ, you were talking about before how you didn't want to go too deep into some of these characters, and you didn't want all the side movies and stuff.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where it was like a series that was kind of put in the middle. Chris, you said you didn't think it really forwarded along. Mike, you liked the way it went. I think we're all kind of split in the middle on it. I think it did the job, but they could have done the job on a Thursday night on NBC, or you could have done the job like.
Let me throw this out at you. Let me throw this out at you. Would your opinion, or would the greater population's opinion of this series be different had it come out first after Endgame? Because I think we were kind of spoiled simply because Endgame was such a sort of I don't want to say like a heavy sort of finish to it. It's like, and then we went into, WandaVision, which was this, okay, you know, hey, we got our favorites back, and it's very light, and it's airy, it's escapism, it's not, you know, it's not rooted in the crap that we're seeing, you know, outside our front door every day. And that's one of the things that I was reading a ton of stuff online that people said maybe it got a little too real for the times that we're in right now, which I mean, obviously, yes. Hollywood is a mirror of what's going on in society, and entertainment's a mirror of what's going on in society. But I don't know if the general audiences were really ready for, you know, their beloved Marvel, you know, this is my escape from this, and now I'm kind of getting the Disney version of it thrown at me, and it's kind
of
hollow.
a mirror. Yeah,
and it's hollow because it's Disney, right? Yeah. So.
Chris, you didn't like her acting, but in
No,
general, I'm gonna blame that on writing, because there was a lot of writing I didn't like in the show, and I thought it was a little bit more forced
too. I don't know.
Well,
It was
just
funny
like
because
the Fast and Furious thing that you're talking about is like, we got to go get him.
Yeah.
There was a little bit more of that in this series than the other ones, so that tells me it was like all the writers were over here on Wanda, and we'll take these 7 and try to put this together. It was.
You got to admit,
I give them credit. It's got to be tough.
The acting and actresses in WandaVision, man, wow, they were so good. As I was saying, like even Kat Dennings, even though she's not a fantastic actress, what she did in her character, I found very entertaining. I just thought everybody, it was really, really, just spot on their acting. And then when I'm watching this back, I'm like, what is bugging me about Sharon Carter? And the more I'd watch it, the more I'd be like, wow, it's just bland. Like, I don't know, like the acting.
I still think that part of it too is the fact that, you know, for most of the WandaVision series, they were following the blueprint of some, you know, beloved shows and writing from the past. So I don't necessarily think it was like it was different, and I don't think you can compare the two completely, because the source material, I mean, they were working off of Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched, and like
that's clever. You know, that's really clever writing, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing, the package, it was clever. There was great acting in it. There was really good twists. And as we're saying with Brent, this is a little more Fast and Furious. You know, it's like, let's take the low road on this one, kind of thing. But maybe that's their marketing. You know, as Mike we were talking, I was saying they can't kill Boba Fett off, man. How much money's left in Boba Fett, right? Like maybe that's what they did with this. They thought, okay, man, let's have a real cool flick, and we'll fool everybody and make it Fast and Furious, and at the end we'll throw this heartfelt message in, and they'll forget about all the you know, the flashy stuff and take the heartfelt message instead.
It's funny, Chris. So, but I didn't.
You know, just
1 second, Michael. It's funny, Chris. Though I don't feel that way until the final episode.
You don't.
I was actually
Fast and Furious.
I thought they did a pretty decent. As I said, I really liked the story they were telling, and then at the final episode, it was like, no, to me, I just wasn't totally happy where it went. But I'm the casual viewer, and I just felt like, oh, like I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get what I wanted per se out of, like, we got a nice, all of a sudden they're all buddies again with Wyatt Russell.
He murdered somebody.
Yeah.
Where, you know,
I can't get over that.
And then lied about
a
it
murderer.
after, right?
So anyways, there was, I'm not going to say plot holes. It just went somewhere where I wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't totally happy where they went with it. Mike, go to you, and then we'll do final.
I think they bit off more than they could chew for the amount of episodes that they had. Had they had 2 more episodes, if they did an 8-episode run like WandaVision, I have a feeling they might have been able to flesh out things like, you know, the redemption story of John Walker, so that, you know, everybody doesn't hate on him for killing an innocent man.
Crazy.
You know, I thought there were things there that they probably could have stretched out a bit had they had 2 more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it was a pretty daunting task, because you're trying to not only elevate Anthony Mackie into this Captain America role, you're trying to, you know, move on from Steve Rogers and Chris Evans. Like, it's tough. And if you're going to keep the franchise moving along, you need to figure out a way to do it. I just don't think they necessarily had the time. in doing it. But interesting, the showrunner of this one is already writing Captain America 4.
Mhm.
So he's going to be the man behind the next Captain America movie.
Maybe
What's the source material say, Chris, for where the Falcon as Captain America goes? Where,
So
I
Falcon
don't know.
takes. So remember his partner there, the army guy, his partner.
Oh, that he
who-
gives the wings to, the broken
Yeah,
wings.
he becomes
Yeah.
the Falcon, and he partners up with new Captain America, and just
Right.
away they go, man. It's not like nothing really crazy happens. He just kind of continues on in the boots of Captain America and represents. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, maybe
Final
that's why they
thoughts?
gave Sharon the
Yeah,
turn,
it's-
though, because now that gives that sort of like end game where if she really is bad, I mean, you know, Steve and us, we were a team, and how could you do this to Steve's memory? And you know, so there could be that play later on. So and I don't know if that was why they chose Sharon to.
Yeah, we'll see.
Be
I
the
don't know.
broker.
It was just kind of it bummed me out. And then again, as I mentioned, Mike, the more I watched it, and the more I talked with other people about her acting, I kind of paid attention to it. I was kind of like, yeah, that was kind of lame. It was. I don't know, man. It's one of those things that. And
It's once you see
something
it,
was-
you can't unsee it, and it just
something was
eats at you.
bothering about me, about her whole character, and about the whole thing about Sharon Carter, and I couldn't put my finger on it. So and then I was just like, wow.
And
okay,
she shot.
It doesn't
she
make
shot
any.
the girl.
Well, no, at the
Yeah.
very end, it didn't make any sense to me that
I'm
she
like,
was
come on.
like. I would have rather seen. I don't know. I could win forever. But who I would have
CSI,
rather seen
CSI
do it.
Marvel.
I think Erin Kellerman, I think she was one of the victims of not having an extra 2 episodes.
Yeah, she was
I
awesome.
thought- I thought her character didn't necessarily get the kind of
That's Elaine.
treatment that she probably deserved.
Was that Julie Louise Dreyfus? Yeah. 'cause
No, that Carly Morgenthau,
who was and who's the character that Julie Louise Dreyfus played?
Contessa.
Contessa.
So even
Angelina
Contessa was,
Fontana.
unless they're going to have her in a series, it was almost like, hey, we're dropping in this celebrity for a little bit, and then they're going to go.
She's putting together the next government team, and this is why I was mentioning it's probably either like you're not going to see U.S. Agent in a solo film or solo show, but you will see him leading Force Works or the Thunderbolts. Now, Force Works, we've already seen all those characters in Marvel, so that makes the most sense. Thunderbolts,
are
we
they?
haven't seen all those characters yet. So
Who are
Who's
they in
Force Works?
Force Works, we have War Machine, we have U.S. Agent leading it, we have Mockingbird, who was seen in the TV show Shield, okay, and then the very last one is Bucky. So we've seen them
And
all.
isn't there a War Machine movie on the way?
Oh no, Armor Wars, buddy.
Armor Wars.
JJ, yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe,
yeah. That
So
looks
maybe
good
that'll
Chris,
tie
too.
together in that way. Yeah.
That
So
should
if
be
that's
a
the
lead
case,
point,
that's
too.
another.
And I don't
that's a
think
whole
I don't
other
think Carly Morgenthau is dead either. I don't think she's dead.
I hope not. There's
She got the sword.
such a compelling character, and she reminds me of Magneto, where it's like, she's got some pretty good points here for everything she's doing. It was like,
Dude, Magneto was the best, in my opinion.
yeah.
Final thoughts, boys. I don't know.
So
if we
JJ,
could-
what's your
ranking?
final thoughts on the Falcon?
Give it a rank.
Final thoughts. I'd say it needed 4 more episodes. I thought the Wakandans were like, holy shit, it's amazing, and the whole curing of the White Wolf. I thought that like they just sped that along. I was like, I want to see this like spread out. I wanted to find out more about Carly and just the relationship they were building between Carly and Sam and how they related on some level. And I thought that was so fantastic. So man, 4 more episodes for me probably would have sorted things out. I think that Sharon Carter taking the mask off, I feel like that was like that's a key scene. Like it seemed somewhat unnecessary. Like why are you taking this mask off here? Like she could have had like a hat on or a hoodie. She even said they're not really looking for me here. So I'm wondering if some of your issues, Chris, will be solved in the future, and it'll be like, oh, that's why she took the mask off, because she had 3 masks on, and blah,
I
blah,
thought
blah,
maybe it was
something
just
like
because
that.
everybody was saying it was a he, so she was hiding her face as a he, so nobody would
I
know it
don't
was
know.
actually Sharon Carter. Yeah, I don't know either, man. It's like there was no little breadcrumbs to lead us to that
Yeah.
either, right? It was just kind of like,
It
oh,
might
her
be like a
fans
Harry
are-
Potter thing. Watch it 3 or 4 times after the next season comes out and be like,
Final
oh,
rank,
shit.
JJ. Do you have a rank? We got 10. What are we doing? 10s, 5s? What are we doing here?
10s or 5.
5 shields. We'll do it out of 5 shields because it's
2 out of
I
5
like it.
shields. All right.
Honestly, two shields. I'm sorry.
shields for
I know
you.
that's low. Normally I
All
go
right.
3 and stay on the
Mike?
fence, but
I'm gonna go 3.5 shields. I was entertained. Maybe not as it wasn't as much of a weekly anticipation as WandaVision was.
Yeah.
But it was still must see. And after the first episode, it had me hooked. It just sort of, it sputtered at the end. But I did find there were a lot of great things. So I'm 3.5 shields.
I'm going to go 3. Those other 2 missing ones probably for the other 2 episodes that should have been there, as we discussed. I don't know if it would last. The thing is, the benefit of Disney Plus and subscription, I don't know if it would last much longer. Like, I don't know if they could pull a second season out of it.
There was no what the fuck moments in it, really.
Yeah, I don't know if they could
other
pull
than
a second,
Isaiah, and that's another
season.
thing that I thought they should have really There's so many little things in there. Like Isaiah was a huge storyline to the whole deal, and they show his what, is his son or his cousin that's looking after him there?
Nephew or something, wasn't
Nephew,
it?
right? I'm sorry, nephew. He becomes a major character later too.
There was too many,
much more interesting.
Sorry,
But much more interesting characters than Sharon Carter is my point. That's my point. Is that there was so many other interesting characters that they could have dove into. Isaiah, I thought we were going to really see a huge thing with him.
Me too.
And we didn't, and that kind of disappointed me as well. So as I say,
it was kind of like the whole thing was
moments.
like a Mike. If I liken it back to wrestling, it's like a really great build to a shitty match. So you got a really great build and
every Triple H.
It's like it was like no. You know what I think. I'm liking it too because I was reading Jericho's book recently again about the Kevin Owens thing, and he's like, we should have when Jericho was on the podcast with Austin. He's like, we should have been the first match, or we should have been like the last match, but we shouldn't have been second. And it felt like the third match. Like it just felt like it was like they did the split, the big thing, and it's like whatever. But no one really wanted to see Jericho and Owens fight. Really, at the end of the day, they didn't. I didn't want to see it. I'm like, no, keep them together. So it's like this series to me was kind of like yes, and then the final episode to me was like rushed, and now it's like a CSI Marvel, like a CSI. It left some plot holes in it, and it's supposed to bring you back in next season where they have a chance to clean up plot holes, but they didn't. So for me, 3, a tough 3, but I'm a 2.5. I still think it's entertainment. Chris, go ahead, and then
2.5. It's 2.5. There's no what the fuck moments, man. I need those what the fuck moments. I just want to say cheers to my buddy Jim McDermott, who's out there watching us right now. Hi, Jim. What's up, buddy? Cheers, brother.
What's up, Jim?
Jim, what's up? And one other thing, BlizzX. No, we're not talking about Invincible tonight. But Mike, JJ, are you guys familiar with Invincible?
No,
it's a cartoon. And it's supposed to be pretty rad. I've heard a little bit about it. It's kind of like The Boys, where these heroes just decimate everybody.
Final rank 2.75.
2.5. You gave up.
Did the math. Wow.
2.75 shields.
I was under the impression there'd be no math involved.
Yeah, I know, right?
2.75 shields out of 5. And I think we can all, and we didn't do the ranking system on Mando. So I think Mando gets 5. I think Wanda gets 5.
Mando was mint, dude.
Mando gets 5. Wanda gets 5.
Wanda gets 4.5.
For you. Well, we're not going
for
back
boner,
into that.
Man. Boner. Did you catch there was an interview with Evan Peters.
I think Mike's gallbladder system is all messed up.
Evan Peters had no idea that the character's last name was Boner until
the last moment.
So you're going, so then we're bringing the rank down to 4.75. I think we need to bump that rank up because we were able to pull Lachlan and Dean back into the series. So
he was in there for the hot factor of
2.75 shields out of 5. Falcon and the Winter Soldier do better-ish. There we go.
Unlike WandaVision, I was gonna say unlike WandaVision, where when that was done, you were waiting for Falcon and the Snowman. I'm looking forward to
Falcon and the Snowman.
Fucking Snowman. So glad this series is over.
I liked it.
This is not America.
Keep talking, fellas.
That's awesome.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like not as super jazzed for Loki as I probably would have been had this ended on a bigger note. Like I'm looking forward to it, but it's not like, oh man, I can't believe we're going to be off for, X number of weeks until Loki starts. It's more like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Loki. Just Owen Wilson, I think will be really funny. He'll add like a really in the trailer at least he adds a really interesting element to it, and I'm hoping that it'll redeem this somehow.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, not to go back. I know you're trying to get out, but
no.
Just moving.
How is this going to tie into the whole multiverse thing? Like, there seemed like no connection to the multiverse.
The only thing I saw was the red vials. Now there was red vials, and that could be going to Thunderbolt Ross to make him the Red Hulk. Other than that, yeah, buddy, I don't know. Oh no, well, other than making Force Works or Thunderbolts, right? I thought General Ross was going to have something to do with this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be the grand villain of this whole year. You know what I mean? Wow. The government again, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many small things, JJ. They have so many. They've got the Fantastic Four. They've got the X-Men which is man. Like there's not 5 X-Men. You know what I mean? Nowadays there's like dozens of X-Men. Hopefully they start the original way, but there's so many other people and characters they need to
trust
introduce.
the process.
I'm just saying.
I'm so convinced they've got it mapped.
There's so many
I hope
other
they
ones
do.
that they need to focus on. So
I'm hearing rumors of Daredevil coming into like Disney just picked up or is going to be uploading the Netflix Marvel universe with minus Luke Cage and what's the other one?
Jessica Jones,
Iron Fist, right?
Yeah, those weren't that great, unfortunately.
No, so we'll see.
Jessica Jones was really good. I really like that. But the Daredevil, JJ, Daredevil is one of my favorite comic books consistently since I was like 7. I still buy it. And Elektra is Daredevil right now. I don't know if you knew that, but Elektra, Matt Murdock has been in jail for about 20 issues for about a year now. Like Kingpin is the mayor of New York. Daredevil is in jail. Matt Murdock is in jail, and he's like, "I got to do this. I got to go to jail. I killed someone."
Listen, I can't afford a comic book habit right now.
I'll fill you in. Let me save you some money, buddy. But Daredevil is one of the best and grittiest comic books ever, and has been. Blind superhero. So
Chris will just send y'all his.
Kingpin is the mayor of New York. Okay, so what do you think that does to Matt Murdock being a lawyer and being the fighter of crime there, right? So Daredevil ends up killing somebody. He's losing his shit, man, and he ends up overexerting himself and he kills somebody. So this new cop comes in, lays down the law. I'm taking Daredevil in. And of course, Daredevil, he's like, okay, I killed somebody. You got to take me in. So he's been in jail forever. Now, Hell's Kitchen's going to hell, because Daredevil's not there. So Elektra comes in and has this new Daredevil costume and visits him in jail and says, Matt, I'm going to take on your cowl. You take care of yourself and your brain. And he's doing it in jail. It's like, of course, it's the Frank Miller story. Like he's taking on like 50 guys and he's getting the crap kicked out of him. So he can mentally do this though, because Elektra is out in the real world, outside of jail, keeping the cowl on and going on as Daredevil.
Who do you cast as Kingpin in the movie though?
I would take that same dude. Whoever the same
dude.
Who was that? I can't remember his name, but he was fantastic. Wait, was he the guy in Full Metal Jacket?
Vincent D'Onofrio?
No, different guy, right?
Different guy.
Okay.
But hasn't Vincent D'Onofrio been linked to Kingpin? I thought somebody had mentioned that there was a rumor that he may show up in the next Spider-Man movie in a small cameo.
I've heard that too.
Wow, the Spider-Man movie is a whole other story, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because Daredevil's supposed to go into that.
We've got news to get to, but Chris, we've got Kenny.
Well, let me just show the guys. Can I show the guys the new Spider-Man? JJ,
yes.
Mike, are you aware that there's a new Spider-Man costume?
Let's bring Justin in for this. He just wants to hang out and see some stuff here. So we're going to 5 windows for a second. Whoa, look at that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's blue. Hey, what's up, buddy? We're just showing off the new Spider-Man costume. I don't know. I'm not
get into.
I don't know, man.
That's the new Spider-Man.
The blue there, right? Wow. Yeah. So that is the new Spider-Man costume in comic books. This is like the one you want. If you can find this, buy this because it's already going for $20. To all our collecting nerds out there. So he's got half the costume on one side and the other. So Brent was like, so what's the impact? Like what's going to happen with this? And I was like, well, in 25, 50 more issues, we'll go back to the original Spider-Man costume and it'll be worth a mint. That's right, JJ. Oh, you collect comics, right? Like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do.
That's the scam.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Good to see you again, buddy.
Well, we're here hanging. Say hi to Justin. Justin was hanging out for our Marvel chat.
Hey, Justin.
Speaking of Disney,
hey everybody.
Speaking of Disney, we got a mighty duck in here. Do you want to weigh in on? Do you want to weigh in on your Falcon ranking out of 5? We're doing shields.
Yeah, how many shields?
Out of shields.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not as critical as you guys because like I have no history of knowledge in the actual comics. I just watched most of the movies, actually all of the movies, up to Endgame and whatnot. I don't know. I'd give it a 3.5, 4. No, 3.5, just for pure entertainment. Like I'm without digging deep into things. Just I enjoyed watching it. I watched it to fall asleep.
That's respectable. Yeah.
I mean, so basically, I'd like make it through half an hour a day. So like, I got.
It beats watching HGTV. There you go.
Yeah.
Fall asleep.
I like HGTV actually.
I wake up to that. My wife watches all the gardens.
Yeah.
She's trying to get me primed to go out and do some work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3.5, that brings the rank up, which is going to make Mike really, really happy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So JJ, tell everybody what's going on with you, buddy, and where we can find everything that you're doing.
Well, I'm of course on the Dean Blundell Network with my podcast, Unfiltered with JJ and Melanie. We recently had to restart, so we're technically on episode 69. But if you go and you look for 66 other episodes, they'll all be gone.
What happened?
Because of
What happened?
copyright infringement. We would put music clips and stuff. Somebody had to rat on us because they were like, anyway.
Brent.
No, that's good. That's good content. Let's go with that for a minute.
It's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to re-edit some of the old ones, take all the music clips and stuff out of it, make it a best of season, which will come out later on this summer. And you can binge those if you want. New episode comes out on Friday Junior, which is Thursday, of course. And during the week, I'm the producer of The Block on CBC Music.
Yeah.
That's it.
So hold on one second, JJ.
Yeah.
So the copyright side of it, because of like you putting it up on YouTube or anything, or just because your actual podcast on Apple and all the rest of it and Spotify got nailed? Because I hear there's tons of them and there's some big pods that are using music and it's kind of the Wild West on that side of it. So I am curious as to who, well, we don't have to get too far into it.
We're a big Melanie, my co-host, has been involved in some things lately that I think have rubbed some people the wrong way. It's rubbed other people the really right way, and and I think that we may have made, like, we don't talk crap about anybody, like we're not mean or malicious or anything.
Not like me
that,
and Emily Van Camp, right?
That's right.
She is not appearing on this show.
No,
but I think
she was my neighbor too. That's funny.
I think we just may have rubbed some people the wrong way, and we may be just catching it, but that's okay. We'll plow forward and you know, just stay the course. And like I said, we'll come up with some best stuff. I mean, I'm sure we had a lot of episodes that were like, it's just filler. So those won't be there on the best of episodes. You get all the good stuff. And like I said,
awesome.
It gives me something to do in the summer when I'm on vacation.
Hey, buddy, you're on all of our best of reels, JJ.
Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Come back, buddy. Anytime.
See you, JJ.
Bye-bye.
Anytime. And the train kept rolling.
Right
Justin, welcome, buddy. What's happening, man? How
Not
you
a
doing?
whole lot. Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
You know, we're hanging out. We're just talking stuff, and we ran over time, so we got to let you go. But it was fun.
Where are you located,
Our
buddy?
apologies to Matt Damon. Yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Vancouver.
Oh, okay, right. So you're in Brent's neck of the woods there.
Yes.
He's worked with me. We work a bunch together, and if your daughter Taylor has hung out at the Vogue, he would have hung out with Justin as well. So there we go.
Yeah,
Taylor mentioned it, Justin.
So Brent, I don't know if I remember the last time we may have worked together, may have been, I think the band was Avenged Sevenfold or something like that. And he threw a microphone into the audience.
You don't do that.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but
you can dude, you can swear, you can smoke, you can drink, you can do whatever you want.
Brent has got this look on his face.
Yeah, he looks
You
unhappy.
know what's funny? I missed all that, Justin, because my mic is the Blue Yeti is a fantastic microphone that I love to use every single time with the Mixify headphones. However, the cord is being a big giant pain in my ass today and keeps disconnecting me. So I missed all that Avenged Sevenfold stuff. Let's start back at the beginning from when you were a baby and
Yeah.
Avenged
Basically,
Sevenfold,
I remember the singer. I don't know. Is that the band that was kind of brought up by the Motley Crue guy? Or am I thinking of another band? Like they were kind of modeled in his image, so they're supposed to like
No. Black Veil Bride.
There you go. That's
it.
Black Veil.
So basically, I think people purposely go to these concerts to heckle this band.
Andy something.
Oh
Andy
my
something.
And purposely
seriously?
pissed them off. So basically, the singer went on this rage, got up into the pit, like into the where the security is, and then threw a microphone into the crowd at someone's head that was heckling him. That's all I cared about. I just wanted my microphone back. But and then he used some poor girl's head to get leverage to like get above everybody else's head to yell at this guy. And then I remember walking downstairs and being like, "Hey, Brent, you might want to come upstairs for this."
Yeah.
And I don't know how you dealt with it for the rest of the night.
I sent somebody else.
I'm gonna get somebody bigger than me to go talk to that guy.
I sent Chris's daughter Taylor, and she's like, "What do you mean? But I want to watch the band. I want to watch the band." Anyways, it was yeah. But we've worked together over the years. Great guy. Welcome to the show. We're hanging out. Disney's got. Speaking of Disney, this seems. Can you talk to them about sponsoring our show? Because all we seem to do is talk about their shit every single
Talk
week.
a lot about it, and we're
We
enjoying
talk about
it.
their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, you are returning to the Mighty Ducks series. They got a new series called Game Changers, and you were an original duck, and now you're
Yeah.
back in the new series. So walk a little bit, and that's Mike down there. Speaking of HGTV, you like to watch it, you'll recognize Mike's voice.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to
Oh,
you
really?
by the Disney Channel.
That's right. That's right. But he's got gallbladder problems right now. So if he
Thank
he
you.
falls off the screen and then he's got Anyways, how did that all come together for you, buddy? What's going on?
Well, like, so I was in D2 and D3, and then so basically I heard that they were filming in Vancouver, so I reached out to Jordan Kerner, who's the executive producer of all 3 movies and also the series, and I wasn't even looking for a job. I was just like, "Hey, if you're in town, we haven't seen you in about 3 or 4 years. Let's have lunch." And I also emailed Steve Brill to ask the same question. And then next thing I know, last summer during COVID, I went camping out in Tofino, and it was just like I woke up and I was looking at my phone. We still had reception at this one campsite, and I see this email that says Mighty Ducks. And like, I just kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with this right now. I'm on vacation. I'm supposed to relax. I don't want to spend an hour drafting some sort of email with my answer, which would probably be just one word, and would be yes. But anyways, I was walking on the beach looking for my friends who went surfing, and then all of a sudden I see a US number on my phone, and then I look at my girlfriend. I'm like, should I answer this right now? And she's like, yeah, maybe you should. So I finally answered them, and they asked me if I wanted to be on. And then, of course, the short answer was yes. And then along came 5 of my other friends from down south, and we filmed the episode.
Nice.
That must have been a great feeling, especially on a platform like that. And considering that you went from, it's been madness. We've been Justin and I have been going back and forth for a couple of days, and he's like, I'm offline. I don't want to talk to anybody. Nothing's going on. And now he's all over Hollywood on all these podcasts. He's got to 1,000 followers on Instagram in about 2 days. And we're still going through the process of like, okay, well, if we do this and we post this and we do that. So this is all new for you again. You're all back into it now, and you've got a brand new acting career.
Yeah, today was actually my first Instagram story I've ever put was sharing the story for kids on the escalator.
Nice. Hey.
Yeah,
We change lives. It's groundbreaking programming here, folks.
yeah. And
That's actually
yesterday,
pretty cool.
yesterday I figured out how to repost an Instagram post for the first time in my life as well. I didn't know you needed another app for that. I was like, I just want to do this, and it wasn't that easy.
Oh, it can be tricky. My wife does basically all my online stuff for me, like anything. She's the producer of the show, so if any troubles come on, I'm lucky that she can do that. Because man, I hear you. I lost.
Yeah.
It's on. But so we worked together at Vogue, doing lots of stuff. Great theater downtown Vancouver. Doing lots of shows together and things like that. And then this acting thing kind of came out of nowhere again with this. So the episode airs this week, yeah?
Yes, April 30th.
On Friday.
Friday.
If you want, you can stay up till midnight Thursday night and watch it then.
Well, that's going to replace my Falcon Winter Soldier right there. Perfect.
Now, have you watched the
Falls right in.
series? Did you watch the series, Justin, leading into it? Like, obviously you are part of it, but do you watch back you know, kind of through the process, or are you just kind of interested in your own episode?
No, I'm
And then move on?
I'm definitely watching the series, and I'm actually loving it. I love all the new ducks, all the new kids. I think they're amazing. I think what Steve Brill and I didn't get to meet Josh or Kathy, who are also the writers and developers, but I think they're doing a great job, and I think it's pretty cool how they got these new bunch of kids, how they've given Gordon Bombay another reason to hate hockey, and just like how they're using these kids to make him like hockey again, and how they made the Ducks the bad guys. Like I haven't seen Cobra Kai, but I hear it's kind of similar to how they made the bad guy the good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like it seemed like the natural development that like the Ducks became like good in the movies, and now they're too good. They've become essentially the Hawks.
Goes to their head, right? Yeah.
And they got the bad coach, and they got like winning only matters, that sort of thing. And then Gordon Bombay has to try to teach these new kids that, hey, that doesn't matter. You're just kids. Go out and have fun. So yeah, I love the new movie. I've just watched a few episodes twice, and I've been following it, and the kids are hilarious.
Do you get killed off?
That'd be fun. During a triple axel, someone comes along and pummels me into the ice.
Come to them with notes. You're like, listen, I was watching. I got a couple of notes. All right. If you guys want to go off a little bit, someone takes a skate blade to my nothing like that.
No. Maybe if it was the Marvel side of Disney, but the Disney side of Disney.
Justin, we're just going to try and keep this a little family oriented here. You know?
Yeah, I wrote all these sides for you guys and all this stuff.
We're trying to keep it PG, all right?
Yeah.
So Mike was very excited about this. Mike was like, Getty Woo's coming, and Chris Rook watching.
That's awesome, yeah.
Chris Rook watching at home, producer on the Blundell Network, was also very excited that you're coming on this show. Mighty Ducks fans, Mike.
Well, Mike, I mean, movies aside, what did it feel like to go back? Because now Brent was saying you've been on the audio side for how many years now, doing live sound and audio production?
Maybe 10, 15 years or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
What was it like to go back into that world? Like
it's weird. Like it was kind of almost like riding a bike, but it's like after living majority of my life, not, I don't know, I guess a celebrity.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird going back. Like, so I've been telling people, like, so back then we had these little trailers that were literally closets. I mean, there were so many of us, I couldn't just buy fancy trailers for all of us, but like, so we had these closets that had a bed and then a toilet, almost like a prison cell. And then if you wanted, you could open up the divider if you liked your neighbor, and then you could have a bigger
Chris,
room
it
that
sounds
you
like
would
all
share.
our dressing rooms.
But then you would have to take dumps in front of each other. So obviously you'd eventually have to close.
You
definitely
became
like
good
that.
friends.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
nothing builds a friendship
shame.
more.
But then I returned, we get to set, and then like, okay, we'll take you to your trailer. I had this trailer that was at least 200 square feet. It had a fireplace, it had a big screen TV, it had a stereo, a shower, a toilet, and all my costumes were hung up, and a couch that I could lay down on. And I spent about 20 minutes a day in it.
That's it.
Yeah. And then, so it's weird going from a life where like I do a lot of monitors in console. So I help the musicians. So it's like, I'm always kind of like helping people out. I'm that person. It's like, what do you need? I got it for you. Or what do you need in your wedge? I got that for you.
And now you're
And
being
then-
weighted on hand and foot.
Yeah. All I got to do is like, oh, I'm going to go to craft service, get some water. And they're like, oh, we'll get that for you. And I'm like, well, okay. See you later. I don't even get a choice. Like, and then like, oh, I got to go to the washroom. I forget what the code is on set, but like Justin's going to the washroom. It's just like,
That's great.
But does that experience, does it almost, I mean, you said it was like, riding a bike, it just felt comfortable again. Does it ignite something in you that makes you maybe now after, 10, 15 years go, man, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Do you want to start
Man, I
auditioning for
had
some
fun.
Marvel roles now, or
Like-
Star Wars roles, or what, buddy?
Because as we get older in our age, our priorities shift and things change, and we're a little more open to those kinds of drastic career changes again.
yeah. So, I mean, like my agent asked if I had the bug again. And
It's such an agent thing to say. Oh,
yeah. And going back to that, like getting back on the bike, I was actually kind of nervous. Like I got my agent to ask, like, well, can I get an acting coach? Because I don't even know if I could do this anymore. But the second I got with everybody else, all the old ducks, like I told them I was nervous. So they're like, no, don't worry about it. Just do your thing. We'll be there for you. We'll help you out. And then, so when my agent asked, do you have the bug again? Like my answer was, I think I'm going to have to wait to see the episode. And if I could actually get through this episode without cringing every single time I see myself on that screen, then maybe it'll be a maybe there. But then my next question to my agent would be, do you think I could do this? Do you think you could get me out there and actually make some money off of your commission off of me?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, or am I just going to be going to auditions and getting absolutely nothing? So I'm going to wait to see after Friday how I feel about that.
There's something about, though, because like a mutual friend of ours is Adam Copeland. I don't know if you know Adam. He's a WWE wrestler. When he retired, he became an actor. And his agent in Toronto, Daniel, just an amazing guy. And I remember when Adam was coming back, Daniel's like, oh, this is great, because all of a sudden now, like you've got this promotional vehicle now again. I can go out and I can sell you. So you've got Disney again. You've got this backdrop. Yeah. I can't see how your agent would be like,
start leafing through the old Marvel comics, buddy. I'll find a million characters you can play in Star Wars and Marvel. Just drop me an email and I'll have a list for you, brother. I got you.
And the Vancouver film scene, I'm assuming that even with COVID right now, it's still pretty crazy, right? So
did you not see the picture the other day, Mike? Like, so where I live in Cloverdale, it was Cena's birthday, and he's filming for Suicide,
right.
his new character for Suicide Squad,
right.
And he posted an Insta of him with a birthday cake, and that's literally a block from my house. Like,
wow,
they're filming Superman there as well. They're doing the whole thing. What you need to do, Justin, you need to do what Chris Machete used to do when we were live, and he would get shit. He'd come out of the dressing room, I'm Chris fucking Machete, and I want some free shit. And people would bring him all this stuff. And if people start bringing you free shit, Justin, you're in. You're good to go.
Yeah.
I do like free stuff. I got to admit, Justin, I really like free stuff.
You can yell at the thing.
I still have. I have stuck.
You should keep a radio. You've got a radio, Justin, that you're used to talking about the Vogue, right? You got a radio. You can put that aside, and every single time you're on set now, you just crack the door and do third person, like, George is getting upset. Be like, Justin's getting hungry.
It's like that scene in Swingers where Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau go to Vegas. It's like, we got to act like, they got to give us the shit. We don't want you just got to walk around.
We're money, man.
We're money, baby. Justin, you're money, baby.
Oh, Chris,
all those beautiful babies,
Chris can hand you a list. Chris can hand you a list of.
You guys watch the episode and let me know if you think I could be an actor, because I don't know. It is a craft. It is something that you have to practice. I haven't practiced, and I didn't practice, which is probably why I got out of it. So I don't know if we'll see. I'd have to wait, and you guys can let me know.
Buddy. No pressure. See, we just want to have you back on the show and say, we've got this guy, and now he's like a superhero, and we started it all here.
That's part of the contract.
He was on the fence until he came on the pod.
Until he came on this show, exactly, right? So, but Justin,
and then we totally pressured him into doing this.
You're the catalyst for Justin Wong.
That's all I'm looking for. But Justin, would you? So it's funny because I'm kind of with you on that kind of thing. I'm not an actor, but it's music or drawing. I kind of like drawing comic books. So now that I'm older, I'm not a musician. I'm a comic book artist, and I'm actually doing quite well. But what would you rather do?
Well, I mean,
all things being perfect, what would you rather do?
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
No COVID, and we're back into live shows again.
Yeah, well, I'd be doing live shows.
You rather the shows? Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the concerts. I enjoy doing monitors. I enjoy working with musicians, and especially up and coming musicians, because I also work at another venue that has about a 500 cap. So a lot of upcoming artists come through there.
What venue's that? What's the name of that venue?
The Imperial, which is now.
See, I know these, right?
Shut down. Yeah,
I know these because of Taylor. She's back now, right? Because of COVID, she had to come back from from
Yeah.
BC there. So she's just
It's a
working
good
at
little
the
thing.
cannabis
Commodore Light. Commodore
Yes.
Light.
So basically, like with that type of cap, a lot of those touring acts don't carry their monitor engineers with them. So I actually get to personally work with them. Where at the Vogue,
Very
where me and
nice.
Brent worked a lot with, all I do is tell their monitor engineer, you can plug in there, and then I go sleep in the back for a while.
I was gonna, well, I was going to say, Justin. So, what is exactly that you do at the shows? Because Brent has a heck of a time explaining to his old friends what he. So, what exactly do you do at these shows?
Just tell people I'm a
Because
plumber
people
now.
don't understand, right? Like what goes on at these shows. People think
That they
you
don't
just
believe
plug
that.
into an amp and you play for everybody. Like honestly, that's what
Yeah.
they think.
So for most, like for a venue the size of the Vogue Theater, which is about 1,300, a lot of times is I just tell their crew, I help their crew out. I don't really work with the artists and then I would take care of the openers, because the openers generally won't carry their own monitor tech. So I would actually operate and get what they want to hear in their wedges on the stage. Where at the Imperial, I'm working with probably all 3 acts of the night, getting their wedges going, making sure that they're set up for each, helping them set up for each set after we've done sound check. And I'd actually do sound check with them, and usually with their touring front of house engineer who's mixing front of house for them. I'll be working with him as well, just through sound check, being like, kick. Okay, everybody put up their hands if you need kick, and then they'll put your hands down when you got enough. And then we're going to go through this fast. If you miss anything, screw you. That's the sort of thing.
You're out of luck, man.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's pretty much most of my job. Every once in a while I get to do front of house, which is a lot of fun, but I prefer working with the musicians than having the peanut gallery come up to me. He's like, oh, the kick's a little loud, or I can't hear the vocal, that sort of stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what I do. And going, that is what I would like to do, but not in a perfect world. In the real weird world that we have right now with COVID, career changes have come in my mind. I have applied to IATSE to see if I could do audio on set for film and television. I got my agent that I might contact after this episode. And I also just had my fitness test with Canada Post. So
you got all your bases covered. That's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
I might be a
Do
delivery
them all.
agent.
Do all 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It'd be nothing cool. Like, you imagine doing a gig, Chris, or like you're doing we're playing a show and you're like, and people just stop playing. Wait a minute, that's Kenny. But then you could be like a guy in like you as Chris said, he'll send you a list of characters he thinks you should play, and then there's all the other things that are filming in Vancouver. You don't even have to leave to go to LA or Toronto. You can literally be on 25 productions just in Vancouver alone.
Yeah,
take all 3 of those jobs and start an internet
and
show.
Deliver the mail.
Do you have a favorite band?
Well, I got many favorite bands.
You have one that like to me, because I'm an old guy, it was Kiss. Like whenever I don't like new Kiss, but like Kiss, the original Kiss, when I see that logo, buddy, I'm just like, oh, I gotta write a song. Like, you know what? I gotta listen to music. It just does it for me. Do you have a band like that?
I don't know. I'd have to give you a top 3, and
cool.
I don't. They're probably a little lesser known.
That's all right.
So Bad Astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even exist anymore. But the lead singer is from Lagwagon, Joey Kate from Lagwagon, a punk band from on Fat Wreck. And
I'm a punker. I know my old school punk, brother. I hear you.
Right
Keep going. Yeah, I got you.
And then a band from, I think, Brampton, Ontario called Monine.
Monine, yes. Yeah. Gotcha again.
So they're so awesome.
They've opened for me.
Speaking of
so actually, so did
Kenny,
Drake.
hello,
Drake
Kenny.
opened for one of my bands back in the day too, buddy. Like, yeah.
Nice. And then
keep going, man. I'm loving this.
Third on my list, I've been really into White Denim.
Okay, I don't know White Denim. There's the first one I don't know.
I found out about them from the Levitation Festival that came to Vancouver, which spawned from the Psych Fest down south. But I just went through the lineup. I was like, okay, let's listen to this band, That's how I found like Courtney Barnett. But then I ran into Curtis Harding. But then I ran into White Denim. They're kind of like, I want to explain them as like Southern kind of like rock, but then like they're really like jazz kind of educated. So like their first albums are like really kind of techie stuff, but still accessible. It's like, it's not music for musicians entirely, but then I think they're trying to get to a broader audience. So they got some like cool kind of bluesy rock stuff in their later albums, and I just think they're awesome. And I saw them live at the Rickshaw Theater. They played for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Just full energy, full out, and then
Just jamming, huh?
then just like kind of stopped for a second. They're like, "So do you guys have to work tomorrow? Is this the weekend?"
I love
and
that.
everybody's like, "No," and they're like, "Okay, we're just going to keep playing." And they played for like another hour after that, just high energy. I don't know how they did it and how they didn't pass out on stage,
That's
but
awesome.
they're so awesome.
They
But
leave
that would be my top 3 at the moment.
right.
Justin,
I
I want to
respect
touch.
that.
I want
like
to
that.
touch on something here for a minute. We worked a lot of shows together, but recently, and I can't. You'd have to remind me on this if you were there, but I did the last 4 Prince shows in Vancouver
Yes,
at the Vogue,
I did follow spot for that actually.
That's right.
Oddly enough.
and that was like it was pretty epic because he passed away not too long after that,
Yeah.
and there was
Oh,
were
Prince
4
is
shows.
awesome. Just I've always been a fan of Prince, to be honest.
But you
with
would have been, yeah, you did follow spot
early
on that,
Prince.
and wow, so that was. I'm glad you were there for that
That's
because
a
that
huge
was
gig.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Doug Fury, who is a friend of the show and was
Yeah,
on with
Doug.
our Christmas
Yeah.
show, said, he's might be one of the best, if not, channeling Hendrix and channeling everything, just like the best all around he's ever seen. And live, I mean, it was
Yeah, and the band that he brought with him, all those
all
girls,
girls from Toronto. Yeah.
yeah, and that
Wow.
guitarist, like okay, so we did a show in the afternoon, show at night, show in the afternoon, show at night, and you could tell the first show, it was the first show on their tour, right?
No, well, he was doing these. So what he was doing is he was actually renting out these venues,
Yeah,
and then ours was just on the list. Like he had done 1 or 2 other ones kind of
Yeah.
around, but it was the first sort of North American one, I believe, at that
Yeah.
time, where he basically just said, "I'm going to play 4 shows, and this is." And I don't know, we didn't
Yeah.
even have a set time at that point. It was
So
just on play.
I feel like the band was tentative still in the first show. Like they were still like, "This is the boss. He could fire us at any second."
Mhm.
And then, but by the second and third show, you could tell that the band was just having fun. You could tell that Prince was impressed by them, and especially impressed by the guitarist because Prince, like with guitar, like those 2 things, like
Donna.
and then this lady, this girl from Toronto, just like almost
Her name
giving
is
him a
Donna.
run for the Donna, like
Chris,
giving him the
Chris
run for
and
the
Mike,
money. Like
actually, hold on, Chris and Mike. She came up on stage with Pearl Jam at the Toronto show, and when they did a live,
That's
that's the girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
You were
she
there
is
for that,
amazing.
Chris.
wow, yeah.
When they did the encore, Chris.
I remember being there. I don't remember that moment though.
So, anyways, Donna came up and played with Mike McCready, and that was her. She was Prince's guitar player. So that's a connection right there.
Wow.
Funny thing about that show is because of those series of shows, because it's Prince's Prince, right? And you go into that going, whatever he wants, in essence, is what it's going to be. And he controls the whole thing, and he does.
He wants a llama.
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
in the
and he
morning.
does
He's
his-
gonna buy a
he didn't-
llama.
he does his own monitors.
Does
Does
his
he
own
really?
monitors, which was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
He just has his
That is
console on the
amazing.
side. He refuses to use a graphic EQ, which basically that's how you ring out monitors. So like if you want to turn up a monitor loud, you can ring out certain frequencies to stop that from happening. But he doesn't want that. He's probably one of the people that think that it causes phase and causes strange
Purist
things.
with it, huh?
Yeah. And so like he would actually walk to the side of the stage and manipulate his own monitors. And a couple of other 2 funny stories about that gig is
Yeah.
I was doing follow spot, and we have like ancient follow spotlights up in the booth, and they kind of get a little jerky, and you can't get like this nice smooth movement. So I was like following around, trying to fiddling with these knobs, and I hit this knob that is, I swear, it's like the automatic collapse, this entire spotlight knob. The whole thing fell over on me.
Oh no.
And then the LD's on comm, just like, okay, you ready to go on? I'm like, no, I've got a bit of an issue here. My follow spot's falling over. I kind of need help. I managed to get it back up. Someone else did come up and kind of help me get it back up. We got back up and going. So that's one story. I don't know if you know that, if that ever happened, Brent, but the other story was, so the show starts with our curtains closed. That never got closed in like the last 10 years. So they barely closed at all, but we managed to get them closed, and they need the cable, because it hasn't closed in a long time. It takes like 2 people to pull it. And so it starts the show closed, opens and it's just Prince, and then it closes again and then opens again and the band's there. But no one told that to the people operating the curtain. So the second they opened the curtain the first time, my buddies left their spot. They're like, okay, our job's done. Let's go have just go sit and chill somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I hear over comms like, okay, we ready to close the curtains? I'm like, what?
No.
So I'm doing this follow spot. I'm texting my friends. It's like, we need to get those curtains closed again. And then I think at the same time, like, they weren't far. They were close by, but I needed to let them know that they needed to get back on comm. So they probably weren't on comm. And I believe my friend was answering my text and sitting side stage. And then she said that while she was answering me, she looks up and Prince is staring at her while she is on her phone during her show. And she's just like,
even worse.
Yeah, but then she had to be to get this curtain closed again. It's just like,
but he didn't know. So those purple eyes were like burning a hole through her.
Yeah. But
what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that time too?
We got the curtain. Sorry, go ahead, Brent.
No, go ahead, Justin. Yeah.
So we got the curtains closed. I swear the LD must have been sweating bullets because like that shit rolling downhill would have landed on him, not necessarily us, and he probably would have been fired. But we got the curtain closed. Probably, hopefully, saved his job. But
you know what was funny? It was very low maintenance. It was low maintenance on that side because the going in, it was like, ooh,
yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, I'm going to get a little techie here, but we had to replace the Marley. So the Marley is the shiny, like
not the
floor.
hockey team, but
We had the shiny floor, and it was like, no, we need shinier Marley. So we had to go and do a whole thing. But anyways, I remember after the first show, Prince actually came downstairs, and I'm working away in the office. I'm getting some numbers, and I'm doing the whole thing. And he's just kind of standing outside the door with the girls, and he looks in the office. You know that little office in front of the laundry room there, and he goes, "Was that okay?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Should I change anything?" I'm like, "Talking about should I change anything? Should I put more hits in?" I'm like,
yes.
No, just do what you're doing. And he goes, maybe one more hit. And he didn't play another hit until the fourth show. And then, because just if you remember, so he plays for like 2.5 hours. The curtains close. Everyone's cheering for like 35 minutes. And then the curtain will open and he'll come back out and play for another hour and a half. Like he's insane. It was absolutely the 4 insane shows I've ever done in my life. Absolutely highlight of my career.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be? Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, wouldn't it be funny if he didn't realize you were in there, but was just talking to himself?
He might have been.
A bit of that.
He might have been.
A bit of that.
What do you think?
So then he comes out on that fourth show, and then he played Purple Rain, I believe, on the piano, and then they did Let's Go. They did like a Let's Go Crazy version, and I just remember it being like, holy shit. And then the funny thing, so then the whole thing was like, don't make contact with him, don't do anything, and that's just what we do, right, Chris? You know, like everyone knows this. You just kind of leave everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was told with Rivers Cuomo. Just ignore him.
But I was in the back alley, Justin, on the loadout, and we're like, it's all ready to go, and he's in a Suburban, right, and the window comes down just a little bit. And I see, and I feel like it was like the Joker from Batman. This little purple glove comes out of the thing.
It went more like this, didn't it? Like this,
it was like
royalty.
Comes out and, no, yeah, it was like he comes out like this, and he kind of peeks out, and he says, "Thank you for everything. It was such a great experience." And I shook his hand, which never happens. And someone comes out and they go, "Did you just touch him?" And I'm like, "No,
did I touch him? I smacked him."
He touched me. It was like just a funny. And then two nights later, we'll finish this up. And 2 nights later, he was in Seattle. And that same, I heard this rumbling that he did the same 4 shows, but on the 4th show, after the encore, after the hour and a half, when the curtain opens back up, he came out on a DJ booth and DJ'd all his hits.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Which is amazing. Like it's crazy when you think about it. So, anywho, that was our Prince. That was
Kevin Smith has a really good story about Prince too, huh? Kevin Smith has an amazing story about doing that documentary for a while, and how Prince has like intercoms in every room in his house, or recording things in case he wants to write something. And it was Kevin Smith has a great little story.
I got one more on that, but and then we got to go. But a couple years ago, taking Nikki Sixx around town. You know Aaron Chapman, Justin. Like we were taking Nikki Sixx around town from Motley Crue to take pictures. He was taking pictures for his new book, and we were driving back from Vancouver, and it was just me and him and his bodyguard, Justin. After we invaded Insight, the injection spot, and got flooded by insanity, we're coming back, and he was telling his Prince story. And he's like, "Did you know? I guess Nikki used to date his girlfriend, right?"
Oh yeah, yes, yes he did.
And he said, Vanity, I think that was her name.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Oh, right.
Prince would stay up and play one note on the piano for 3 hours. Ding, ding. Just play one note, stop. Call the band, 4 a.m. Get to the studio, you got 1 hour. Everyone had to be within. They went there, and Nikki was like, he has got the greatest shit you've never heard. Just sitting in the can.
Does.
And then now we're hearing rumblings that it's going to start coming out, but he said it was like the most epic, like he's heard some, he goes, you know, some of us have heard some of it. It's got the most epic shit in the can. And he would just sit for 3 hours and play one
I'd love to hear him noodle
note
on the guitar. I'd love to hear just like him noodling what he did, like because he was a really good guitar player, man. That solo in Let's Go Crazy, the long version is phenomenal. Like I grew up on that. I was a little kid when that came out, but I had the tape and I listened to it while I was playing little mini sticks with my buddies there in the basement. Yeah, I remember it vividly. And then I turned around and put on Motley Crue right after, so it all goes together.
Justin, you're either going to act and become a huge star in the Disney universe. You're either going to deliver the mail, or regardless, you're going to keep doing front of house and monitors.
Yeah, or are you going to be doing like the next U2 show or something? Or
Or
be
miking up famous people on set.
Well, that's what So who do we have out here, Brent? What's that band I have out here in Kingston that's huge right now? Glorious Sons, yes. So Taylor's now working for the Glorious Sons, driving other than the cannabis shop, driving to Toronto to get merch and bring back and check it all off, Justin. So that's what Taylor's doing now. So she's happy still in the music business, but yeah, she's like.
Wait, so you're saying Taylor? Are you saying Taylor Cochran?
Yeah, because I'm Chris Cochran. Okay. Yeah, so Chris, I go by Chris Michelle. Yeah, sorry, I asked her to come up and say hi.
We don't give out last names.
She said because when I mentioned that you were coming on, she goes, "Oh, I know that guy. He's a really great guy. He's really nice. I worked with him." And I said, "Well, come up and say hi." And she goes, "Well, I don't know."
We only give out Mike's last name because it's part of his branding.
Yeah, I know. Chris Machetti is what I go by for music and stuff, right? But yeah.
It's Mike Pine. Like, I mean, it's right. So anyways, let's finish up. Justin, super stoked that you got a chance to act again and get back into it and back into the Mighty Ducks universe and in the Disneyverse, which I think is going to serve you well. I really think you should think about acting a bit, or at least firing a gun and being somebody in that thing.
It'll be what you make of it,
whatever
my
you
friend,
can get your hands on.
I mean, I bought some stocks in Disney, so
if you can at least get a free Disney Plus membership out of this, I mean, get
go for some wicked action figures, man.
I'm having trouble getting a Don't Bothers jersey right now.
Oh man.
No, not really trouble. They just wanted to wait till the whole series is out and then I can have one. So
I was going to ask you that if you got any merch from your time on set this recent one. So
it might be a television thing where there's less of a budget. They can't just give everything away. But during the movies, it's just like, take that. I brought some hockey pants home so that I could wear playing minor hockey. I got
but you're not just some hack old, nobody showing up one epised. You've got a little bit of a legacy here.
Yeah.
We treat our legends with a little bit of respect up in Canada.
We didn't even get to ask you about hanging out with Emilio Estevez and all the bad stuff.
Well, I have a question about that. No, we can
when you were young.
I got time if you guys got time.
I got time.
But speaking of Emilio Estevez, just on a side note story, if you want to act, I heard he's doing Young Guns 3. So why don't you try to say, hey, listen, Emilio, I mean, and then Kenny Wu, Young Guns 3, you could come in as the character from the Mighty Ducks.
or maybe at least some like Chinese character that was building the railroads, but he got away or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he was hinting that to us. I don't know if it is Young Guns 3 or not, but he is doing some research that, like, because at the end of Young Guns 2, they kind of hint that Billy the Kid kind of died, but he's done some research that says no, he actually lived a lot longer, and they're trying to look into that. But yeah, man, Young Guns 1, I love that movie when I was a kid. Like, I love that movie. So meeting Emilio was a pleasure. That and like obviously The Breakfast Club and stuff like that. So
yes,
yeah.
yes. Did Charlie Sheen ever show up on set all in a mess, just like and starts?
Not Charlie Sheen, but Martin Sheen showed up to take care of Emilio's kids and stuff like that. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I didn't really get a huge opportunity to talk to him. Just like, hey, nice to meet you, sort of thing. But yeah.
Apocalypse Now is one of the greatest movies ever. Right? Like,
and now Martin Sheen is doing those commercials in the States for the pharmacy apps. Where you can get coupons for pharmacy for your drug prescriptions.
Really?
He's that guy now. So.
I've seen Tom Selleck's doing one like that too, and he gives you shit. He's like, "You
Hey, no. Tom Selleck. I know which one you're talking about. It's where he's like, but he's trying to be that trusting. Hey, I'm maybe Tom Selleck, but I know what it means to have a reverse mortgage.
Right. And he's so serious with you, right? He's just, his eyes are going right through, and you're like, oh my God.
And I'm like,
he's talking about, I got to do.
Dude, whatever Magnum PI is saying,
I made no money on Blue Bloods. I haven't made any money on Magnum PI. I've had to get a reverse mortgage. And Martin Sheen has told me to sign up for this pharmaceutical plan.
Hey man, I hope he does Young Guns 3. Like, my wife Carolyn, like, Young Guns is probably one of her favorites of all time. We just watched both of those recently again. So that would be sick if they can pull that off again.
Yeah, and then we also met Paul Abdul on set.
Nice.
He was married to her at the time. And I remember, like, my buddy came down to visit me while we were in Anaheim, and he went down to grab some pizza because there was a Pizza Hut in the lobby, and you could just grab a personal pizza. And then he came back to the hotel room. He's like, yeah, so I just met Paul Abdul and Emilio in the elevator, and he's standing there at the door. He's literally in his boxers and shirt. So he met Paul Abdul and Emilio in his boxers. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
That's sweet.
He's never going to forget that.
No.
Justin, I'd ask everybody where they can find you online, but you don't exist there. So
it's amazing though. That's amazing though. That I mean, it's rare these days to find people that aren't sort of dialed in.
Yeah, I've got a presence. Like, I've had my Instagram, which is Justin grown in BC, so like grown like a tree in British Columbia, grown in BC, and basically I just had it just to put my photography on there because I bought like a small mirrorless camera a few years ago, and the lenses are super cheap, so I bring it everywhere with me because it's so small, and I take photos. So I put it on there, but in the last 5 weeks, I've just been kind of promoting the Game Changers, and it's just kind of blown up from like 400 to 1,000. I mean, that's a small number when it comes to like crazy people that have lots of followers. But it's interesting. So now that Instagram is kind of like my hobby photography / every once in a while you might see some Ken Wu stuff on there.
That I was gonna say with the social media and the promoting, like, is that part of the deal? Like, do they when they bring you in, they say, hey, thanks for coming out, hey, do us a favor and hit your social media stuff up and pump up the show?
It's not a must. I just figured I'd do that. Just part of the testing the grounds of whether or not I want to jump into acting again, whether or not it's something the attention is enjoyable.
It's a different time now, right? Like back then, you didn't have this kind of real in your face direct access from the fans. So has that been a little bit, I don't want to say unnerving or a little bit daunting compared to, back when you were doing D2 and D3, like different time, different place, right?
To be honest, it's actually less so because back when they're like, so here's my experience of coming back from D2. I was in elementary school. All my friends I've been friends with for 7 years from grade 1 to 7. They all know who I am. They're like, okay, yeah, you left for 6 months and you came back, you did a movie. That's cool. And then going back from there into middle school, going to a new school, where I still got my small group of friends that came with me to that new school. But then there's also all these other kids that are just like, that's Ken Wu, that's Ken Wu, that's that guy, that's that guy. So the first couple of weeks of middle school was kind of, I didn't know how to handle that. People were like tapping me on the shoulder, left, right, and center. Like, that's you. Like at one point, someone actually even pulled on my backpack to like pull me back and be like, "You're this guy, right?" And I'm like, "Dude, this has got to stop." But now with social media, like there is a lot of access and attention, but it also is removed. Like it's just in my phone. It's not someone literally with their finger in my face or pulling on my backpack. So, and so far I haven't experienced anything negative. Like no one says,
"How can you get anything negative?"
Yeah,
you can't get anything negative.
But
that would be just wrong.
Yeah. But like in the last couple of years, I never realized how much Mighty Ducks had affected people and the fans of the franchise. Like I had been so removed from it that during the Anaheim Ducks silver anniversary, all these fans just made me realize how important for some reason these movies are to them. And even today, I got a message on Instagram from someone in Ireland that has autism and says that watching the movies gets her through the day because of COVID. Awesome. She can't even get outside. She's obviously high risk. And that sort of effect is very humbling. And now looking back on it, I'm very proud to be part of that.
That's awesome, amazing.
Really cool.
Oh, that's not, see that right there. That's the mic drop. That's the reason you do it, right?
You should be one of the new X-Men. I'm going to find a new X-Men character for you, and I'm going to put it on you. So where do we find you online again? And then I will post it on there.
Justin Cronin BC on Instagram.
There we go. Beautiful. No Twitter, no anything else?
Nope. I don't.
Starting on Instagram. Okay, I respect that. I respect that.
I never understood Twitter because for me, I always thought it was just like someone going like, "I'm on the toilet right now. I'm cooking dinner right now." I never really understood that. So like,
sounds like my Instagram. I don't know. I think I got this wrong.
Yeah, but I usually post one picture a day, generally like around noon, because they say if you do it at the same time every day, that's when you'll get the most likes.
Nice algorithms.
So, and every Friday I've been doing something to help promote the episode. And just this week, I'm going to kind of put like something about Mighty Ducks every day leading up to the episode. And then depending on what happens after, maybe it'll dwindle off. But I think I've got more Mighty Ducks fans now on there than I do photography fans. So I think I'll probably post a few things, like keep it going just to make sure that they didn't join up and follow my page for no reason.
Well, you'll get a few more after this tonight, my friend. And then we posted again, just the audio. So we got the video coming out and then the audio. Yeah. And
awesome.
Pleasure to have you on the show, my friend.
Yeah, this was really cool, man. And like, congrats. Like this is, I think for, if I, in another lifetime, I always wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, but just, it never was in the cards. And then, when I got into my later years, I did broadcasting and then got into voice. So, for me, thinking about like, if I would have been that kid that could have been in those movies and those shows that I was watching as a kid, and then to come back years later and to get to feel that again and to be a part of it and know that what I did back then wasn't just sort of, a passing thing. It actually, like you said, had an impact. That's awesome, man. And it sounds like you had a lot of fun, and I'm psyched to see the episode. So congrats, dude.
Voice isn't easy though. Like I want people to know that. Like doing your job is not easy. I actually took some courses in it, and it's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate it. See, it's true, Brett. I told you what I do, just sitting in my booth here in my house coat.
We always make fun of him, Justin. We're always just like, come on, Mike.
It's work. It is
well,
work.
we don't make fun of him for his gig. I mean, I like to make fun of him because of how old he is.
Yeah,
okay.
Fucking old.
And I don't want to keep you guys for too long, but like the thing about voice is
really old.
The way you think you sound is not the way you think you sound.
That's true.
Like if you think you've got energy, you don't have energy. You got to amp that up times 100 to make sure the listener feels that you have energy. It's that sort of, it's weird. It was like when I took those courses, it was very enlightening. And then also through my partner, she records a lot of animation and dialogue here in Vancouver.
Oh,
and
cool.
Like, some of the actors out here in Vancouver are amazing. And like, just think about like, okay, I'm playing this. You're not just making a voice. You're not just like, you got to do this character, but you've also got to make sure you could cry with this character. You got to be sad with this character. You
It's
layers. You gotta
acting,
feel it,
man.
man.
It's, you
You gotta
gotta
feel it.
act.
It's
Yeah.
acting, but it's like amped up acting because it doesn't translate without an actual human visual. And then also you got to play like old character, young character, and then
Yeah.
it's definitely a skill that should be
It's
more recognized. I think
It's-
for how
it's interesting.
hard it is.
and I'm glad you sort of mentioned that, because I mean, over my time, I'll have people that will come up and say, "Oh, my people that know me say I've got a great voice and that I should get into voice acting," or they'll do the classic, "I can do so and so's voice," or "I can do a Homer Simpson," or "I can do a
Yeah.
Christopher
I can do Terry
Walken."
Funk.
And I'm like, that's great, you know,
Yeah.
egg sucking dog.
Yeah.
But sorry, but the thing is, and yeah, you can do that, but can you be Homer Simpson when he's
Yeah.
sad? Can you
Yeah.
be Homer Simpson when he's happy? Like, anybody can do like a line or two, but can you sustain it over a 26-minute episode type
Yeah.
thing? And that's where acting and the craft, like you mentioned earlier, like that's the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
What for me, the energy thing, when I do the Leon's commercials, yeah, that is hardcore
Yeah.
amp. I'm selling you that ottoman because it's
Yeah.
$4.99,
Yeah.
this weekend only.
And it's tiring, right? It takes a
can
lot out
be.
of you.
Justin,
Yeah.
we're gonna get Mike to do an acting lesson for you now, a voice acting lesson for you.
Send it to
right
Emily Van
now.
Camp.
Here's how it goes, Mike. Here's the scenario. We got this. Here's the scenario.
Okay.
You're playing your gallbladder, okay, and it's stuck inside your body, and it really wants to get out. I need you to pull all the emotion out and show Justin. This is it. The Oscars were the other day. This is it right here, Mike. If you win, if you get this, so everyone ready and scene.
You have fed me garbage for the last 48 years. And now look at me. I'm in your gallbladder and I can't move anymore. It's time to come out. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to elbow you here. I'm going to elbow you here. Maybe I'll perforate something here. I'm going to get you all inflamed and I'm going to keep you up all night. Yeah, you're only going to sleep 3 hours at a time until you get to the doctor. And then they're going to cut you open and make you bleed real pretty. And then we're going to be free. Free.
I almost heard Cactus Jack for a minute there. That's awesome.
I like how he sounds kind of older than you because you've just beaten him up so much that your bladder is like older than
I really shouldn't have
body.
this. I really shouldn't have this much of a character about what my gallstones are actually saying right now. So
That's
yeah.
acting. That's acting school 101, and we
Beauties.
can't.
Emily Van
Thank you,
Camp, pay
Mike.
attention. And send your hate email to me. I don't care. Send your hate
come
email to me. I don't care.
Come on.
Justin Wong.
She's my neighbor.
Everyone tune in Friday night. Watch
Woo!
Justin with the Mighty Ducks and the Game Changers, and then on all the way up from there, buddy. And maybe you can now voice gallbladders after you just got a lesson. Be awesome. Come back anytime, man.
Yeah,
Anytime.
for
no
sure,
problem.
buddy.
Yeah,
it was really
dude.
good to meet you, Justin.
All right. Nice meeting you guys too.
See you next time, buddy.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Dude. Right on, right on.
That was cool, man.
That was
That
a
was
great
cool.
acting. I mean, yeah, the Oscars were just here. I don't want to review it because it was a thing.
Oh.
I think you win the
Thank you.
award.
Thank you.
You win
How
the
many
award.
shields do I get for that one?
There you
That's
go.
okay.
Well,
That was-
Brent's
I
got
mean-
a prize for you for that right now. Are you ready, Brent? Tell Mike his prize.
Well, I'll try to do it as best as I can.
You ready, Mike? Here it comes.
Here we go.
You're gonna like
It's gonna go in the mail. It's gonna go in the mail. You've won yourself a Cocoa Chunk chocolate bar from Sunrise.
Oh,
Right here from Nature's Path.
There you go.
I'm gonna mail it out to you,
Very nice.
and we'll send you one of these We're gonna send you one of
Promotional
these
consideration paid for by the following.
mugs. That's right.
Marvel Comics. What I thought you had another prize for
Hey.
Mike there, or no?
Now we've got a surprise. We got something now.
Oh.
Now hold on. We gotta let Mike go on this note.
Oh,
and
okay.
Get him prepped for next week.
Oh,
Okay.
In which case we'll have another gallbladder update.
Oh, good.
but-
Thank you.
Justin was talking about some of his favorite bands. Michael, if you had a top, I'm
Oh,
hoping, I'm assuming that this band will be in here, but if you had a top 3,
mm.
top 5,
Oh,
Canadian, American,
Just tell
all
him,
the
Brett.
rest of it, go for it.
I tell you, dude, I am all over the place. I am the worst person to pick favorite.
do you like a
bands.
band
Well,
that
then-
is also a name of a comic book that's Canadian?
Oh, actually, I do. I'm a big fan of that band. As a matter of fact,
What's the name of that band, Mike?
Well, let's leave the
three.
band out of it then for a second, and we'll just
You
say
know what
that a
Canadian
member
band that
of
is, though? Because that's who...
I know exactly what Canadian band that is, and
So-
that is, as I've said before, that one member of that band was a director for one of my first toy commercials. So,
well, the bass
yeah.
player from that band is coming on next week, and he's
Come
gonna hang
on,
out, so-
Ken's coming on.
I didn't say his name. You said his name.
I said his
Yeah,
name.
there you go. I didn't even know his name, so there
He's
you
coming
go.
on the show next week. That's
and you're going to be with us,
fantastic.
Mike.
Let me just tell you, Ken is a phenomenal guy, and you guys are going to absolutely love chatting with him. His new cover album is awesome.
That's what he's here to talk about. Our buddy
great, man.
Cam Carpenter
So
came
get some
back
questions
on and
geared up for him, Mike.
get some questions geared up. That's
Yeah.
right. Ken from The Watchmen is coming on next week to chat about the new covers record, and we're gonna get Mike Gallbladder to do the intro.
There we go. And I got
Jesus.
some wrestling questions I'm going to flip over to next time.
Oh,
there for you,
geez.
too.
Well, guys, this was a ton of fun as it always is.
Yeah,
So,
buddy.
and I'm psyched. How's Skeletron?
Oh, it's great, but yeah, I'll give a full update next time. It's just everything's
Okay.
shut down now, so I can't get the printing, and it's like,
okay.
so I'm just working on the online store. I'm drawing lots
I'm
of Marvel goodness.
I am super digging the stuff that you're posting, like
Thanks,
your
buddy.
Marvel that collage
Oh,
of.
thanks, pal.
Oh my God,
It
dude,
sells,
you
right,
are-
Mike? You know what I mean?
you are
It's like,
insane.
thanks, but I really appreciate that.
So good.
It's like,
So good.
I can't do Skeletron right now because everything's shut down. So it's like, okay, well, let's throw this. What would you throw on the website to sell that everybody likes? And so Marvel. So
Dude,
it's like, twist my arm. I'll draw, some Marvel. Well, Mike's gone.
We lost him.
That was it. He didn't.
Just
He
like-
didn't.
it's
He
like-
did not like
You know
that.
what that was? You know what that was right there?
No.
That was season 6 of The Sopranos, the
Oh
final.
my gosh,
Look at-
that
there's
was.
Mike. Should we let him
Mike.
back in? Should we let him back in? Because, it's like,
Oh, here he comes.
let me.
Oh my God,
No.
sorry guys,
No, that's okay. It was like
that's my bad.
Mike, we
that
lost
was
That's
you.
my bad.
Sopranos.
That's my.
But that was like the end of The Sopranos. I was like, we should just
Don't
leave this like
stop.
that. That was my.
Sorry, you know what it is? Here's the thing. This is behind the scenes. This is because as a former broadcast producer, I'm all about clean or as clean as possible exits. So you know how in Zoom you click the leave button and it opens up the leave meeting.
Yes.
So that when you say I'll see you later, it's not clicking and clicking and clicking again. So I totally didn't realize that I had that button up. So I
Well,
was just
thanks for the
hovering.
comments on the drawings, but yeah. So the store's up there right now. I'm just drawing Marvel's goodness for everybody because that's how you pay the bills, and then we'll get back to
Awesome.
My independent comic. Yeah, it should be out like as soon as the lockdown's done, man. It'll be in stores. But I appreciate
Dude,
you
I'm
asking,
digging it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so talented, man. This guy's
Thanks, buddy.
talented.
Thank you.
And Brent and his
It's coffee. Woo!
Just leave me
sitting up
alone,
with the
Mike.
trailer.
Leave me
Hey,
alone.
the pod's sounding good, man. The coffee
Thanks, buddy.
talk.
Coffee
Little
talk.
coffee.
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
just
Journey
wrap
for
it up
Java.
tomorrow. We wrap up Journey for Java tomorrow.
Attaboy.
But yeah, where can we find you online, Mike? And
You didn't,
All the
you didn't
things.
ask the question this time.
what are you up to?
Well, yeah,
Because I already
I know.
you're gonna throw it into the mix.
Of
So
course.
what are you up to? Where can we find you
You
online?
find me online at MP Voicer. Let's try that again. At MP Voiceovers on Twitter and the Instagram, and you can find me on Clubhouse too. If you're in the Clubhouse,
Well, that's
pop
the new
up-
stripper app, right?
That's
Keep
right.
going there.
Yeah, 3 shows nightly. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Enjoy the veal. it's tasty.
$5.99 chicken wings, buddy.
Yeah, yummy, yummy, yummy. So, yeah, I'm psyched, man. Next week, that's gonna be fun.
Yes.
So,
Ken Tizard from The Watchmen joins us to talk about all the stuff, and Mike is going to enjoy that because
hey, one of my faves.
one of his faves.
One of my faves.
That's
So-
what we do here. We're
That's what
all
you guys
about
do.
We aim to please, and we please to aim.
Your aim will help. That's
Right.
right, boys. Enjoy the week. We'll talk next week.
See you, Mike. Take care,
Thanks,
buddy.
Mike.
You're gonna be fresh. Yeah, we did it.
Couple big episodes in a row, man.
Yeah.
We got some play on that machete episode last week too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was. We hauled the homegrown from everybody back there. Holy, yeah, that was the most responses I've gotten on a video before.
Yeah.
So thank you from everybody from back in the machete days for hitting me up and us up and just you know.
And
saying,
Janessa,
hey,
one of
I
the things that
remember
we
it.
forgot to shout out to, Janessa has old video. If Janessa's watching, she's got old footage from like the back of like Jenny's backyard, like playing, and she's got all this old footage. She posted it somewhere,
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, look at that. And it's like there's a
haven't
lot of
seen
old
that.
footage.
Well, Dent
popping
mentioned Dent mentioned Janessa because she, did you say Jenny or
pepper spray.
Janessa?
The pepper spray.
Yeah, because she mentioned
Janessa.
Janessa about the pepper spray at the Headstone show, right? With Dale. Dale was so funny last time too, because Dent was such a dick to Hugh Dillon. Like they got in such a big fight. And Dale's like such a gentleman about it. Oh, should I talk about that? Or
I don't know if Dale remembered that actually. I honestly don't think. I don't think Dale remembered that.
It seemed
you know who
like
does remember that? I think Joe Ronsetti remembers.
Oh, of course, Joe.
Because he was standing right beside it when it happened.
The funny thing was that the modern day Braves, the band, were more offended by it than anybody else was in the whole place. I remember hanging out front after, and the I don't want to name names, but one of the guitar players was just giving me like the shit down about it, and it's like,
well, I tried to poke and prod Dent. I tried to poke and prod Dent. And was like, tell us about that. I was like, tell us about that thing, man. Tell us about the thing.
No, I know.
He got into it with you, and he wouldn't. I
was grinning from here to here when that was coming. I'm like, yeah, it's like that when you're at the dinner table. Fight.
Maybe Dent didn't remember it either.
Oh, he remembered it all right. He's just like, yeah. Well, he's not used to being on the show either, right?
That's
like we're
funny.
used to it. Like,
yeah.
As long as I'm not having an anxiety attack, I don't care what I say or what anybody says to me. It really doesn't matter.
So many things. All right. So big thanks to JJ for coming on again. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Love
having JJ on. Love having JJ on.
And we want to support his deal there because they got
Unfiltered with JJ and Melanie going at it to all your things. And
definitely do.
And they're great. They have great chemistry. Amazing show. And really, really cool. They're on the Dean Blundell Network with us.
Dean.
Hey, Dean. Hey, everybody. Big thanks to our friends at Blue Microphones.
Yes, Blue Microphones. But here comes the ad. We always play the ad. There it is.
The Blue Yeti X. We got the Mix-Fi headphones that are really awesome. We do our best to try to sound good for you guys, and there we go.
I have a weird head. I have to wear them backwards. It's very strange.
He has to wear them backwards, but it's just the way it goes.
Really
Big thanks to our friends at Blue for that. Always huge thanks to Mike, our partial co-host, sometimes coming on there to jump into the mix and always add to the mix. Justin Wong. Hey, buddy.
Justin.
Congrats.
Cheers, buddy.
Congrats. Oh, you didn't even do the. You didn't do the thing.
Okay, you ready?
You didn't do the Caryma. Justin Wong, thank you so much for coming on. There you go, Justin. Thanks, buddy, for coming on there.
Who else do we have?
We had JJ. You gotta get closer to the mic every time you cut out. Every time. We had Mike. No, he's cutting out completely.
Okay, never mind. It's done. I think I only did it that one time really well. Now I can't get the magic back.
Yeah, you can't get the magic back. But man, that was a fun show. We covered a lot of ground. Everyone tune in. If you got Disney Plus, tune into the Game Changers, the new series, the Anaheim Ducks, the Mighty Ducks
Justin,
Game Changers.
Justin. And let him know what Marvel character or Star Wars character he should play. Let's flood this. Let's get him in there, man. Let's flood this with suggestions for Justin.
There was a thing when we were watching Cobra Kai. When I'm watching Cobra Kai with the kids, we all like Bert, little Bert. So have you watched it yet, Chris, or no?
In and out. I've seen our producer's seen more than I have.
Okay, so there's this little dude called Bert, and he always gets his ass handed to him, and he's always kicking some ass or trying to fight. And my kids are like, Bert, 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 and we're trying to get like a Bert. Go, Bert, go. Okay. So let's get a Kenny Wu going.
Yeah.
Go Kenny Wu. Everything. Justin should be in everything now.
Okay, I agree.
Okay. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy. Next week, we return. Ken Tizzard from The Watchmen. Mike Pongratz will be back. Very excited about that. And I'm sure we're going to have tons of comic updates and all the rest of it to go with it, including Skeletron. So,
yeah, like an update on my store. I got some really wicked pictures that a lot of people have been asking to purchase. So that's great. I'm getting a big following in Machete Comics now. And next week, I got a whole bunch of people I got to give shout outs to real quick. So if I could have some time off the beginning, that would be great. I only got 100 copies coming out, and they're basically if you don't get it in the store, you're not going to get the comic book, I don't think. And I'm not really sad saying that, but you know what I mean? They're pretty much all sold. But the ones in the stores, there'll be some in Oshawa.
Sold out, and that's a great.
Well, it's only 100 copies too, brother, but you know, it's a cool thing. So anyway, I got to have a big update on all that next week. And then as Hot Comics, man, if you can find this one, Spider-Man 61, pick it up. New costume. Love it or lump it. Won't be there long.
That's the Kids on the Escalator podcast for another week. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, wherever you get your pods, and on the Dean Blundell Network. That's Chris Machete. I am the other guy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Good times.
Good times.
Rad dudes. There it is. Woo!